happened on the fourth down, deciding whether to go for it, then the timeout, and then the field goal?
Yeah, we went all the way down there. We had a really good drive. We ran out of time on the play clock on the one. I didn't get the call in quick enough, and so once we got to that, I thought it was important that we got points on the board at that particular time. I thought it'd just be too much of a momentum swing if they stopped us on 4th and 3, so I decided to kick the field goal.
And what was the conversation with the ref? Because if you're going to kick the field goal, there's no need to take the timeout.
Yep, I'll keep that conversation between us. I'm not going to make an excuse about anything, and so I got to be better.
How about the offensive foul on J-Jaw on that touchdown? What was your conversation like there? Did you get an explanation for why that was called?
Yeah, they thought that he pushed him downfield and they thought it was DPI. And you know what? They got a tough job. The referees have a tough job. We got a tough job. Players have a tough job. They're trying to get it right. I know they're trying to get it right. They're trying to do their best to get it right. And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I'm not saying one way or the other. If they got that right, I'll keep my opinion to myself. But they got a tough job, just like all of us.
Can you walk us through the decision right before the second half when short pass to Kenneth Gainwell, you didn't call timeout there?
Mm-hmm. We do a ton of studying of all those situations throughout each week, and we felt like we could get a play off that was going to go out of bounds before that. So we wanted to save that timeout. All those times right there, when you can save a timeout right there, and I'll double down on that call. It didn't work. It didn't work that time, and he got a sack, and they got and it was a long thing, but I'll stick with that call all day because I've put myself in that position 1,000 times when I've watched it. So because of where we snapped that thing, if it got a little bit lower, then I would have clocked it or called a timeout. But to have that timeout right there when an NFL defense, what an NFL defense will do is if you don't have a timeout, play a sideline defense where now it's making it almost impossible to get to the sideline. So I stick with that call. I stand by that call. It didn't work, and I got to sit by that.
The rush play accounted for the poor protection?
I don't, because we've run that play a bunch in my past, not just here in Philadelphia. We've run it a lot in Indianapolis and San Diego. When I was in Kansas City, that was our out-of-bounds play, and you know what? It didn't work this time.
Big picture, what's your assessment of this game? What's the primary emotion you walk away with?
Yeah, I mean, you're upset. You're furious that you go to 1-3. But a lot of good. We can also see that there's some things that they're to build on there. The self-inflicted wounds have to stop. And I know I sound the same, but it's still true. We gotta stop the self-inflicted wounds of putting ourselves in holes and with penalties. The guys did a good job. We won the turnover battle. Our defense took it away. We didn't give it away. They forced another fumble on special teams. So there's some good things, obviously, right there. We got to do things better, both offensively and defensively, and special teams wise. There was one time we started inside the 15. So we have to use this tape and get better from it. My message was really never going to change, win or lose. That we got to take we got to make our corrections and get better from it. But there's a lot of guys that battled their tails off today, and there's a lot of guys that played good football today, and you're happy with that, but obviously you're never satisfied, and you're always upset when you lose.
You had difficulty executing in red zone situations. What's been the problem with that? That was the case also in the San Francisco game. It was also the case in this game here today.
Yeah, we had the one in I think we were 5 of 6 before this game here today, and we had the one in San Francisco where we weren't good enough on. And then today, 3 of 6, when you're playing a team like that, you got to convert there. And so it's the plays I'm calling. It's the lack of execution, but I'll always have it start with me. And when the plays don't work, that's on me. And so I got to call better plays. I got to put our guys in better positions to win. And everyone's going to look at themselves and on all those plays too and say, I could have done that better on this play, or I could have done this better on this play. It's a team. It's the greatest team sport there is. It starts with me. I got the plays that didn't work. That's on me. I got to come up with better scheme and put the guys in position to make a play.
When did you find out about Lane, and how tough was it to adjust at the last minute with Jeff just going right?
I found out a couple hours before the game. I think Jeff Stoutland and Shane Steichen just did a phenomenal job just getting everybody ready to go, and it's no secret. Jeff Stoutland, our offensive line coach, he's got everybody ready to play in all these different scenarios if different scenarios happen. Well, we were proposed with one of those scenarios today. I thought the offensive line battled. I thought they played really well, and that's just a tribute to Coach Stout of how good of a football coach he is and how, he's gotten the guys better as a whole with their fundamentals, and he mentally prepares them. And then just a tribute to the guys that stepped in and played. They really played good. All those guys. I got to watch the tape to tell you. Pardon me, to tell you exactly how they played, but I thought they battled. They battled really. They played their tails off. They played hard. They played physical. We got a lot of warriors right there in that group. So I thought they did a good job in the circumstances that they were.
Was Lane here?
I'm not going to discuss any lane.
No more information beyond.
No, just a personal situation, and I'm just not going to discuss that right now.
You mentioned some of the self-inflicted stuff, the illegal man downfield stuff, but that's kind of a tightrope between the quarterback getting it out, the offensive line realizing. How do you kind of deal with that?
Well, they're calling. The referees they're calling that pretty hard this year, and probably a little bit harder than they have in the past. And so we have to adjust, and we can't, and that starts with me. We got to adjust how we're blocking it. We got to adjust how we're teaching the blocking schemes to not allow the guy, and how we're reading it. So, or just don't call it. I mean, that's what we're going to have to do, because you obviously can't shoot yourself in the foot. So that's my fault. That's my, I got to get better at that with the, with that. It's not Andre's fault that he was downfield on that one, because the timing was pretty good. And the referees, I thought, did a good job of refereeing it.
Couple more guys. Touchdowns came off the board because of penalties. From a big picture perspective, why does this keep happening?
Yeah, I mean, they had the what was it, the PI on that I answered about, JJ, I think, from you, and then the illegal man downfield that I just answered, and the other one was the guy out of bounds. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess I answered the first two. The last one right here. He ran out of room. I said the same thing with Jalen on the other one, that he's got to work a better release at the line of scrimmage. Devontae will be the first one to tell you that, to save the quarterback room. There was some hand fighting, some pushing. Like I said, referees have a tough job, and there was hand fighting on both sides. So I don't blame that on them. We just got to save room. That's a technique thing, and then my answer on the other two.
I know the Chiefs have a good offense.
I'll answer yours too.
Nick, we know the Chiefs are a very good offense, but how do you think the defense performed today against them?
Yeah, they got a lot of good players, and obviously, Mahomes is a really good player. He's an NFL MVP for a reason. Coach Reed is a really good play caller. Coach Bieniemy does a great job getting his guys ready. So, and then you see Kelsey and Hill. I mean, they got really good playmakers, and so that was a tough challenge for our defense today. You're always going to look when a team rushes for that many yards. You're always going to look at that and say, we got to stop the run. Because they didn't, on that. So that's going to always be the first emphasis. I obviously need to watch the tape on a lot of that. A lot of times I'm looking down at my call sheet too to see what I'm going to call next. But I'll have a better answer for you. But anytime you rush for that many yards, you're going to have to improve in that area. Go ahead. I'm going to add one more.
What did you think of Jalen's performance?
Yeah, he. I kind of talked to somebody in there. I just said that's one of the better quarterback performances I've seen, and I've been around a lot of good quarterbacks, with Phillip Rivers and Andrew Luck. I mean, he battled. He made good decisions with the football. He got out of trouble when there was trouble. He made good checks. He made good reads. I thought that's the best I've seen him in practice. That's the best I've seen him in a game since I've been here. So hats off to Jalen. He battled, and that's going to be important for us moving forward.